Hi, my name is JT Wolfe, and for this year's scenario project, I built an architectural model of my house because it's undergoing renovation. So here is the model, completely made out of foam boards and paper decals and supports from wood skewers. It was a tough build, and it was quite the process going through this build. My first step was to actually get the measurements, and I did that from this right here book, or not book, but blueprints that the architects wrote. Now I go to, this is the page that I use the most. Right here, this isn't the entire first floor plan. Shout out to 1/4, and this building right here fits perfectly onto that. So this would be like the exact same kind of building that an actual architect would go through and build and whatever. Alright, so the way that I actually got the pieces to the right size was I took the measurements from those, I double checked them every single room, and then I would map them out onto these graph paper, almost graph paper, but like cardstock, and I'd map them out and I'd label them and I'd go cut them out. I'd take these and I'd glue them one by one. I'd like stack them up like blocks on one of those big white poster boards. Then I'd take an X-Acto knife and I'd cut around them, and I'd have the boards left, or I'd have the every single individual wall left. So with those walls, I would obviously trim them to make sure they're the right length, because the X-Acto knife I had constantly bend. The tip would bend. I'd end up with like uneven walls and slanted walls, and it was difficult, because then I would have to go back and I'd have to shave them, and I would have to constantly make new walls. So I would then tape all the walls together at the corners to make sure that they'd stay, and I didn't utilize a firm, solid support. I would just tape them and use the tension of that tape to keep them all together. And then I'd tape them all together. Then when I did the second floor, I'd take these skewers, these wooden skewers that you usually, like, kebabs, you'd use like one of those for those. I just stick it through and keeps the entire thing steady. And so I keep my roofs on, stuff like that. But I am still able to, by design, take the roof off and stuff like that. So it's almost like one of those houses that you can, well, it literally is a model house. You can take stuff off, you can look inside. So yeah, I'm going to show you the first floor now. So right here you can see the entire first floor, the interior walls, the flooring, and every single room fit with windows and stone trim. So this actually fits perfectly onto the architectural drawing that the architects made. It is a one-to-one replica of that drawing, but it's just like, it's 3D, it's stretched across the z-axis. So yeah, I guess I'll take you through the rooms. So the first one is the garage. Now the garage actually does have a flooring, even though it looks very similar to like the normal paper, the normal 8.5 by 11 paper that I used for the walls. This was one of the toughest rooms to make, because I had to decide what I was going to do, right? Because the garage in our actual house stoops down. It's 2 feet deeper than the rest of the house. So I had to decide whether I was going to make that taller and then have the entire house be off balance or something. So I ended up just deciding to cut those 2 feet out, make it normal sized, and yeah, you can see here some of the supports that I was talking about earlier, still stuck in the first floor, I guess, because that's how I stuck them in the first floor first, so I guess they're just gonna stick there. So next up is the laundry room right here, and the laundry room leads directly into the kitchen here. So the laundry room actually has a front door leading up to it, which is like an alternative entry to the other front door, which is over here. So yeah, not much to be said about it. It's an empty room. So next up would be the office, which is this room. This is actually one of the more difficult rooms because not only is it taller, but it also has this right here. And this was the biggest pain, this peak, because not only did I have to make a roof that would perfectly fit it, but I also had to defy the graph paper. And because this is not, it's not, you know, it doesn't align perfectly with the blocks in the graph paper. So this was definitely a struggle. This was a big part of the time that it took. Next up, we'll go to the bathroom right here. This is the first floor bathroom, and it's right next to the office, real tiny, and it actually has a door leading out back right there. Then we'll go over to the kitchen, which is this main area right here. This is where, right here is where the cupboards and everything would be, and then here's where the table is. So big area there, and it all uses the same flooring here as the bathroom, the first floor bathroom, and the laundry room and the office. Next we'll move into the living room, which actually features this dome-shaped, or not dome, but half circle-shaped window in the back. This is the first use of not plywood, but wooden flooring, which is also used in the stairwell / entryway and the living room or dining room. We'll move on to the entryway. The entryway has obviously the front door. This is where the stairs would be, right here. I decided against making the stairs because it would be way too complicated, and I couldn't find a way to make any that would fit, especially in this area. The living room also has trimming that goes all the way around, even in this tiny little indent right here. It still goes, which I felt would be a nice detail to add. Then we move on to the living room, and the living room is just standard. It's got 3 windows and nice wood flooring. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.